Coming up on Hoosier Sports Nite, Indiana men's basketball looked to end a 3-game skid.
And Indiana women's basketball closed in on first place in the Big Ten. This is Hoosier Sports Nite.
Hello and welcome to Hoosier Sports Nite. I'm Austin Platt.
And I'm Johandy Salamanca. Isn't it great, Austin, that we don't have to wear a mask anymore?
It's so nice that people can finally see our beautiful faces again. Indiana dropped yet another game Tuesday night to number 15 Wisconsin. Our IUS TV men's basketball beat reporter Evan Kamiko has more from Assembly Hall.
Indiana goes 1-10 in the final 2 minutes to drop their 4th game in a row to Wisconsin.
It's a tough game. You know, I got to give them credit because they played their butts off. I thought we played great in stretches, but we just couldn't sustain it.
It was a night to forget for Xavier Johnson, who had his worst shooting game as a Hoosier.
Xavier was wide open for a shot, and sometimes you don't hit him, but I'll have him shoot that shot 10 times out of 10. It was a great shot. It was a great look by him, and I know he wishes he's going to get it back, and I know he will in the next game.
If Indiana has any hopes at turning their season around, the Hoosiers have to find ways at putting up points with their second unit.
What I see is a bunch of guys that work really hard on their shots. Repetition, Parker, Anthony, Miller, everyone's in the gym working all the time. So it's just mental. They're going to keep doing their thing. They're going to keep getting up shots in extra time, and they're going to start falling. So you just got to have faith in your teammates.
You know, we just couldn't make shots coming down the stretch. And again, I put it on me, man. I got to get them in better position. I can't shoot it for them, but I got to get them comfortable to the point where they feel good about making shots.
One bright spot for IU, forward Trace Jackson-Davis had his third 30-point game of the season.
I feel like I played at my caliber that I should be playing at. At the same time, as for the game goes, it's rough. But at the same time, we have 5 games left with 4 teams that we beat, and then Rutgers. And so we control our own destiny still. There's still a lot of basketball to be played.
Indiana drops to 16-9 and will travel to Columbus next Monday to take on the number 18 ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. For IUS TV Sports, I'm Evan Kamiko.
The Hoosiers look to snap their now 4-game losing streak Monday night when they travel to Columbus, Ohio to take on the Buckeyes. Follow along with Evan Kamiko and Jevin McCoskey, who will be in Columbus with all of the game day coverage.
The Indiana softball team kicked off their season this past weekend in Boca Raton, Florida for the First Pitch Classic, leaving with a record of 2-2. On Friday, Team 49 started off the day with a loss against Louisville 9-5. Freshmen Sarah Stone, Brianna Copeland, Kinsey Mitchell, and Taylor Minnick all got their first collegiate start against the Cardinals. The Hoosiers bounced back from their loss, winning against Florida Atlantic 11-1. The bats were going for the Hoosiers as Cora Bassett recorded a home run in the top of the first, and Brittany Ford hit a grand slam in the second, giving Coach Stanton her first 100th win at Indiana. Victory followed Indiana into Saturday as they won 3-1 against Bethune-Cookman. 7 hits were recorded, including 2 from Grayson Radcliffe. The excitement was short-lived as the Hoosiers lost to Northern Illinois 14-3. The Hoosiers gave up 3 runs in the first and could not make a comeback despite Brittany Ford's 2 RBIs in the second. Coach Stanton had this to say after the loss to the Huskies.
And we really couldn't do much of anything well in that game, with the exception of we did have a few micro moments of incredible plays by some different kids, but not enough fight, not enough competitiveness, and that's where we need to see this young group grow.
Indiana was scheduled to play NIU again Sunday, but the game was canceled due to weather. The Hoosiers are hoping to go above 500 in the Unconquered Invitational next weekend, going up against Hofstra and Florida State.
The Indiana women's basketball team took on Michigan State last Saturday with an opportunity to take first place in the Big Ten. Our beat reporter Brett Smith has the recap from inside Assembly Hall.
The women's basketball team went up against a motivated Michigan State, coming off an upset victory against 4th-ranked Michigan, and the players felt their team was prepared and ready to execute.
Our coaches do a great job of having us ready, and it's just our job to come out, play with energy, play hard, and execute the game plan.
One assignment that was a part of the game plan was guarding Michigan State's top scorer, Nia Clouden, who finished the game with only 10 points.
she's a great player, and so we knew she was going to score and she was going to hit tough shots. We just wanted to make it hard on her, make it difficult.
You know, one of our keys was, you know, how can we all help who's ever guarding her, whether it was Allie, all 5 of us have to guard Mia Fallon today.
That defense was the key for the Hoosiers' success, forcing 7 turnovers and frustrating the offense of Michigan State all 4 quarters.
In a day and age where everybody wants to score, everybody wants to run, everybody wants to shoot threes, everybody wants to dunk, you know, the idea of just being good defensively has sort of gone to the side. But I have a group that really, truly believes in that.
It was a career night for Grace Berger. She scored 29 points, dominating from every area of the floor. The Hoosiers were a little inconsistent on offense to start the game, but once Grace Berger got going, there was no one on Michigan State that could stop her.
I was definitely, feeling it a little bit. I saw a couple of my pull-ups go in. I got a couple of, easy drives to the basket. So I think anytime I could see the ball go in, that maybe makes me a little more aggressive.
You know, I didn't think that they had an answer for her, in the second half, and that was just Grace. As I say, Grace being Grace.
The victory for the Hoosiers propelled the team to the top seed in the Big Ten, but the overall message from the players is to focus on one game every single week.
Our focus is just one game at a time. That's what we went in today thinking, just focus on Michigan State, and then once Michigan State, Nebraska.
That mindset has made the environment for the team enjoyable, and Terry Morin is proud of the players' commitment and attitude every single day.
They're a fun group to be around, and we have a lot of laughter, whether it's outside of practice and just being together.
For iOS TV Sports, this has been Brett Smith reporting.
With a victory, the Hoosiers are now first place in the Big Ten standings with a 1-game cushion over Michigan. Indiana's next game will be tonight against Northwestern at 6 p.m. Follow beat reporters Brett Smith and Audrey Hausberger for more coverage.
The Indiana wrestling team faced off against 2 top 10 opponents in a doubleheader weekend last Friday and Saturday. Our iUS TV Sports Wrestling beat reporter Riley Woodall has a recap on the Big Ten matchups.
Tough loss tonight inside Wilkinson Hall as the Indiana wrestling team drops a tough dual meet matchup to number 3 ranked Michigan. But for Coach Angel Escobedo's wrestling squad, their character is what's shown through despite the disappointing lopsided defeat.
We're big in growth mindset for us. We're not fixed in a certain spot. We're not going to be stuck here. We're going to keep growing forward. I always say you have 2 options to grow. Either you're growing, in the right direction or the wrong direction. And we're going to, focus on the right direction. And that's looking at the things we did really well, focusing on what we learned, and then how we're going to grow from the experience.
Much like Illinois, Indiana found themselves in several tight matches that simply didn't fall in their favor.
I think we were outmatched tonight. I mean, they're, number 3 team in the country, but I didn't feel like we, took a back seat to them. I mean, I thought we were in a lot of those matches, we almost were on the side of winning. There's like 3 matches off the top of my head that could have swung the other way. So just showing that fight is a progress. I think what we need to go back to is figuring out how we can change that to wins on our side.
After a 3-match losing streak, Indiana looked to bounce back against the Ohio State Buckeyes.
The result against Ohio State yielded an almost identical score to that of Michigan, with a 34-3 loss to the number 6th ranked team in the country. Number 10 ranked graduate student Brock Hutkins secured the only victory for the Hoosiers at 133 pounds with a last-second takedown over Dylan Kuntz to win the match 5-3. 4 of the 10 matches were decided by 2 points or less, with Graham Rooks going the distance with Ohio State's number 2 ranked Sammy Sasso at 149 pounds, and Nick Willem losing a close bout at 197 pounds against number 21 ranked Gavin Hoffman.
I want to show them, I want to break down the film and show them how many scoring opportunities we had. I think there's maybe we were about a half second slow on position. So showing them they're there, right? They're there. We're creating opportunities. All we got to do is go take them. Big Ten's tough. It's tough. That team is great. They got a lot of 6-7 year seniors that are in their lineup. That's a long line of leadership. So that's what we're trying to go for.
We're headed in the right direction. I think we're wrestling hard. People are going out and having fun, and I think it'll show come Big Tens.
After yet another tough loss to the number 6th ranked Ohio State Buckeyes, Indiana will look to find some sort of momentum on Alumni Day when they face off against Chattanooga this coming Sunday. For iUS TV Sports, I'm Riley Woodall.
With their last Big Ten duels of the season completed, Indiana will battle against Chattanooga this coming Sunday at 1 p.m. The Hoosiers look to gain some momentum headed into the Big Ten championships by securing their 4th dual meet victory of the 2022 season on Alumni Day.
Coming up after the break, we have more on IU track and field and swim and dive.
And IU ice hockey gets ready for the playoffs. You're watching Hoosier Sports Night.
Welcome back to Hoosier Sports Night.
The track and field teams are finishing up their indoor season. With the meet this past weekend, the Hoosiers had another opportunity to prep before the Big Ten Indoor Championships. Our Will Matchett has more.
The Hoosiers track and field team has been rolling through their indoor season with the meet this past weekend at the Hoosier Hills. Despite missing many Hoosiers in Chicago and Nashville, the Hoosiers kept it real and took care of business here in Bloomington. Shot putter Maddie Pollard has been having a tremendous season so far and has been quite impressed with her performances and her teammates' performances this season.
We're in a great spot right now. We're starting to hit these consistent marks, and there's definitely some big throws coming, especially from us 3 females. Taking 1, 2, and 3 at the meet was really awesome. We're all kind of on the same page right now, and so going into Notre Dame this weekend, we're ready for some big throws, and then Big Tens is the week after, so we're really excited for that as well.
With Big Ten and NCAA championships on her mind, Maddie Pollard continues to push for bigger and better marks throughout the rest of the meets.
I would say everything's going fine. Definitely, I always want more. Definitely going to strive for some more this weekend. Looking for that big mark to get me into the national meet, and then going to Big Tens, hitting another big mark, making that finals, getting a medal on that podium. So definitely striving for that these next few weeks.
Other Hoosiers who took first this weekend included Reese Proctor in the 800 meter, Austin Haskett in the mile, Mahogany Jenkins in high and triple jump, and Lauren Thomas in the 400 meter. The Hoosiers track and field team travels back to Notre Dame this weekend for the Alex Wilson Invitational. Follow me on Twitter for more IU track and field updates throughout the season. For IUS TV Sports, I'm Will Matchett.
Follow IUS TV Sports to keep up with all the latest track and field stories.
The women's swim and dive team began their Big Ten championship quest yesterday in Madison, Wisconsin. The Hoosiers are projected to take 3rd place in the Big Ten, although head coach Ray Lewis believes they have an outside chance of taking the title. There are 11 IU women between swimming and diving that have a good chance to finish in the top 5 in their events. 4 of those 11 women have 3 events each that they stand a good shot at making the podium. Mariah Denigan has been out for many recent meets this season, but is back for the championship meet and looking strong in the mile, the 500 freestyle, and the 400 individual medley. Freshman Anna Poplowski is looking for a win in the 200 freestyle, 100 backstroke, and the 200 backstroke. The head coach's daughter, Mackenzie Lewis, will strive to finish in the top 5 in the 200 and 400 individual medley and the 200 breaststroke. With diving, IU diver Kristen Hayden is also looking to take the top spot in the 1 meter, 3 meter, and platform dive. Stay tuned for updates from IUS TV swim and dive beat reporter Samantha Condra on how the Big Ten Championships finishes out.
Earlier this week, the IU men's golf team competed in the Nexus Collegiate at the Albany Golf Club in New Providence, Bahamas. Indiana took on Clemson and Chattanooga in the first round, where they sat at 7th place and stayed there. The Hoosiers battled Jacksonville State and Chattanooga in the 2nd and 3rd rounds, but struggled due to the windy conditions of the Bahamas. The top players for Indiana were Mitch Davis and Clay Merchant, who finished tied after both shooting a .235 for the week. The Hoosiers will be off for the remainder of the month. They will travel next to the Colleton River Collegiate in Blufftown, South Carolina on March 7th and 8th. Follow IUS TV Sports' Hank Joseph and Kelsey Dennehy to stay up with the date on all men's golf.
The Indiana men's ice hockey team took home a clean sweep this weekend to finish off their regular season on a winning streak of 9 against the Denison Big Red. Our ice hockey beat reporter, Kelsey Dennehy, has the recap on the action-packed weekend for the Hoosiers.
Welcome to the Frank Southern Ice Arena, where the Indiana University Hoosier hockey team took home another weekend sweep, this time on their senior weekend against the Denison Big Red. The first matchup on the weekend, the 9:20 puck drop on Friday. the Hoosiers took home a 10-1 lead with all three seniors scoring in their senior night celebration. Number 17, Vladislav Krush, number 16, Cade Kenyon, and number 19, Barrett McDaniel. It was McDaniel's first goal of the season, and Adam Offenbach also added his first goal of the season into their 10-1 victory. In their second matchup on Saturday afternoon at 3:20, the Hoosiers wore their pink jerseys in honor of breast cancer awareness through Zeta Tau Alpha's fundraiser. Vladislav Krush also contributed 2 more goals to Saturday's matchup, which put him in the lead for goals for the Hoosier team. The Hoosiers finished their season with a 9-game win streak and ranked 8th regionally and 2nd in the league standings. The Hoosiers will move on to the TSCHL playoffs next weekend, hosted by Xavier University. Make sure to follow along at IUSTV Sports and at hockey_IU for updates along the weekend.
The Hoosiers take the ice this coming weekend in the TSCHL playoff tournament hosted by Xavier. Their first game is tomorrow against the Ohio University Bobcats at 9:15 p.m. Make sure to follow Kelsey, Ben, Hockey at Indiana, and IUSTV Sports for all updates. And that's our show for the week. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at IUSTV Sports. For our production crew behind me, I'm Johansi Salamanca.
And I'm Austin Platt. We'll see you next week.